Now we're going to go over the individual written responses. On this page is a template in Word. If you have Word, you can use that. If not, I'm going to show you how to convert that to Google Docs. So we'll download this file. From Google Docs, I'm going to go to File and then click Open. And switch over to Upload. Then I'm going to select a file from my device. From my Downloads folder, we'll see that the most recent object is the Create template that we just downloaded. And from here I can type out the answers to my questions. So for 2A, we're supposed to provide a written response or audio narration in your video that identifies the programming language. So I use the Scratch programming language for my Create program. Then we need to identify the purpose of your program. So I put the purpose of my program is to create a shape with a number of sides determined by the input of the user. And the last thing we need to put is explain what the video illustrates. So I put the video shows that when the user clicks a number, a polygon with a corresponding number of shapes is created. For 2B, we need to describe the incremental and iterative development process of your program, focusing on two distinct points in that process. We need to describe the difficulties and/or opportunities we encountered and how they were resolved or incorporated. In your description, clearly indicate whether the development described was collaborative or independent. At least one of these must refer to independent program development. Yours doesn't need to be as long as I did, but here I went over how the program was made. To show that it was incremental, I started, then after testing, then finally. So this shows that there was an order to my program that is incremental. And then for iterative, to show that, I did testing and refining, then we did something, testing and revising, then we did something else, then finally tested, cleanup, so that's more revising. So the iterative process was after each step there was testing and revising. It said I need to indicate whether it was independent or collaborative. So I put the entire project was independently created. But it's okay for you to make it collaborative. If you do that, in one of your opportunities or difficulties, you can say that my partner helped me figure this out. And that's perfectly okay, but make sure that one of those two was something you did on your own. So for my opportunity, I put that instead of rewriting something over and over again, I used a function to reuse code so that any shape could be drawn based on one block of code. And then for difficulty, I put the part where the shapes with more sides were not fitting, and that we adjusted that by creating a formula to determine the length of the side based on the number of sides. I could have just as easily done the part where we originally had the wrong angle for our triangle and it was making half of a hexagon instead. Either way would have been fine. For 2C, you'll see that I need to copy and paste my program code and mark an algorithm with an oval. Go to the snipping tool. For the snipping tool, I can click New, highlight the part I want to keep. This part will let me directly draw if I'd like and do an oval around my algorithm. Copy this, paste my image. Alright, we have pasted a program segment that implements an algorithm. We marked our algorithm with an oval. It must be fundamental to your program. This draws our shape, so that's pretty fundamental. So for the writing part, we had to describe how each algorithm within your selected algorithm functions independently. So we show the first algorithm here, we show the second algorithm here, and we show the last algorithm here, as well as in combination with others. Here's where I show them in combination with others to form a new algorithm that helps to achieve the intended purpose of the program. Then we say that drawing the shape achieves the purpose of the program. For 2D, we need to capture and paste a program code segment that contains an abstraction we developed individually on your own, which is redundant, and that should be marked with a rectangle. Mark my abstraction with a rectangle, copy it, paste it here. Our abstraction must integrate mathematical and logical concepts. It does. Now we have to explain how our abstraction helped manage the complexity of our program. So here I explain what the abstraction was. Then I explain how the complexity of the program was managed. And then to make sure this part is supposed to be 200 or less words, I use 78. 2C was 200 or less words, I used 128. 2B was 200 or less, I used 195. 2A was 150 or less, I used 52. Finally, when we're finished, we'll see that this file must be converted to PDF format before it can be uploaded and submitted as final in the digital portfolio. So to do that, once my entire program is finished, I'll go to File, Download, PDF Document. This will download a copy of our file as a PDF. Somewhere on individual written responses, you'll be able to add or upload. You'll click that button, select your file, make sure you select the PDF document. It's probably in your downloads folder. Then somewhere you should have an option for submit or turn in. Make sure you do not put your name in the file name. And that's it for your written responses.